Hey everybody, today I want to talk about a couple of common problems with hydrangeas. One question we get a lot is, why isn't my hydrangea blooming? And I figure that, while they're in bloom right now is a good time to talk about uh, the ways to get them to flower better, and maybe reasons why yours might not be blooming. So the most common problem that we encounter with when we get that question, start asking a little bit of questions about why, what the practices are, where they're planted, all those things. The most common problem is that we'll hear that they're being cut back every fall, like they should be, and they're just not flowering. They grow really nice, and but they just don't bloom. So the problem is you're cutting it off every fall. That's the problem. So most hydrangeas, what should I say? So all of your hydrangeas need all the Hydrangea macrophylla need old wood to produce flower buds. So on the one in front of me here, these two, and the one to my left, in order to get flowers in middle of June, you'll have to let them be, let them alone. Don't touch them, and they'll flower pretty well on their own. Now, one nice thing about the two in front of me here, these bloom on new growth as well as old growth, so they will still flower even if they're cut off. So you won't be getting your early flowers, though. That's the one thing. They will still. So let me restate that. They'll still bloom in probably midsummer, but it'll be a bit later than your plants that were not cut back and had their old branches to have those previous year's flower buds on. So a couple years ago, we were cleaning up here in the front, in the beds out front here, and this one accidentally got cut off down to, I don't know, about 2 feet, 1.5 to 2 feet tall. So I think we had one or two flowers that year, because there was just a couple branches that didn't get hit, but everything else, it was full of leaves, but there were no flowers in sight. Some years they will get their buds frozen off, so that's another thing that happens a lot. They are usually fine up until about the last couple weeks of March, beginning April, and we get a couple freezes just as the buds are starting to expand. So I've got a few right at my house that I can watch. They're right at my kitchen window, and since every year, as spring gets closer, the buds start getting bigger and bigger. And in April, you're holding your breath and just hoping they won't get another freeze and knock off those buds. It's happened a few years in a row where they're just ready to break, and we dip down into, I don't know, upper 20s, mid 20s, and all the buds just dry up and fall off. So we're back to square one with plenty of growth, but no flowers. So you've got a couple options for dealing with cold. If you have the willpower and motivation to go out there and cover them, that can keep them from freezing. That'll retain those buds. So it's a bit of work, but if you have just 2 or 3 plants that you'd like to preserve the old branches, I'd recommend getting a heavy burlap or like a frost blanket, something that's got a good amount of thickness to it to keep the frost off of them. And again, it's only like the last month of winter before spring is officially here that you have to really take extra measures, because they're earlier on in like January, February, the buds are still tight and there's no risk of them coming off. So it's just as they're starting to expand, when the sap's flowing, yeah, they can freeze off and just ruin it for you. So they can also be getting either too much or too little water, or too much or too little sun. So that is a little hard to figure out sometimes if you're getting too much or too little. But Mine do best in about, I don't know, 3 to 4 hours of direct sun with shade or just filtered light other parts of the day. So I've got a few in morning sun. Next to the pergola, I've got a penny mac, and that gets sun all morning. Now, when it's getting hot, if you can look closely, you can see some of these flowers are starting to droop. And this week is going to be one of our hotter weeks of the summer. We're up into the 90s, pushing 100 almost. So this is really going to stress this one out, but they bounce back. So now this is actually the opposite of what you would expect to be the best place, because this gets sun in the afternoon. It's directly under a really old Hinoki cypress, but it gets sun from about, oh, I don't know, right around 2:30 till sunset. So it'll wilt pretty bad when it gets really hot, but it perks up again when it cools down. And I've not had problems with this one with this one here burning up. So this one's glowing embers. This is a really good one. With the exception that it does not flower on new growth. So like I said, if you cut this one off, you're not going to get any flowers until a year later. So yeah, and the frost can affect this one too. So they would like a slightly acidic soil. So I think you want your pH right around 6.5, maybe 5 to 6.5, something around there. That would give you some more bluish flowers, and the soil also should be somewhat loose. You don't want it to be super tight. We've got a bit of clay around here, and if your soil is extra heavy, I would really recommend adding some compost and something else just to loosen it up a little bit. That'll pay you, years down the road, keeping that for starting off with good soil. And if you're striking out, if you have an old hydrangea that's not flowering, I would say rip it out. Don't, if it's not going to flower and you've tried many things, just start over. So there's a few newer varieties that do really well at reblooming. So the one I've got here is Summer Crush from Endless Summer. This is a fantastic bloomer and rebloomer. I also have this lace cap called Cherry Explosion. There's a whole lot more, but these do really well. They perform really well. So they'll flower no matter what, pretty much. And the same goes for these here, the Hydrangea arborescens. This one here, you actually want to cut it off in the spring, and it'll all come out fresh, and they bloom on current year's growth. So same with this here, the miniature version, Annabelle, it's about standard size. And then the panicle hydrangea, like Little Lime, this is Little Lime Punch, and the oak leaf hydrangea. Those both bloom on, let me think here, no wait. The Little Lime Punch, the Hydrangea paniculata, and arborescens, those both bloom on current year's growth, so they can be cut off in the spring. They'll regrow and they'll bloom. Now the oak leaf, that does require a second year growth to bloom, but honestly, for best results, leave them go. Just stand back. They'll do their thing. But if you need to get involved, make sure you do it at the right time. And yeah, timing's the biggest thing. So they are pretty simple to get to work out. And we always enjoy helping to troubleshoot and figure out what you can do to make your garden even better than it was before. So yeah, we're always happy to help with questions like this. So yeah, if done right, they'll perform great for years to come. And there's plenty of colorful varieties that take basically zero input. So it's always a good thing. So as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Hey guys, thanks for watching. To see more of our videos, don't forget to like and subscribe and click the notification bell so you can see when new videos get uploaded. And we'll see you again soon.